So whether there's a limit for how long it should take for somebody to be brought to the hospital, that is a very tricky question. The key here really is not about a certain time limit per se. In this particular scenario, when somebody is unresponsive, the critical thing is what kind of first aid is the person receiving, because several things can cause somebody to be unresponsive. In our presentation earlier, we realized that somebody may be unresponsive because of a drug overdose. Somebody may be unresponsive because of drowning. Somebody may be unresponsive because of head trauma. Somebody may be unresponsive because of a cardiac arrest. Somebody may be unresponsive as part of a post-seizure situation. There are several scenarios in which you may find persons being unresponsive, and each of those scenarios present a certain state of the person's heart and lung function, which may necessitate an earlier presentation to a hospital or not. However, the case may be, though, whatever first aid assessment is done to try and assess and determine why the person may be in the state of unresponsiveness he or she may be in, and for that reason, what action to take and the appropriate action thereof to take will determine how much time you have. Because the scenario you may be in, somebody may the scenario where the person is not responsive may be something within the center of town, and probably just in front of hospital, something in a hospital even scenario, or maybe in a remote case. Either way, if the first aid, if this initial assistance that is being given the person is premium, there's a chance the person will survive whilst waiting senior or expert medical intervention. So I would say that it's not a hard and fast rule as to how long should somebody be unresponsive, or can you maintain somebody unresponsive before um, seeking, or before expert or um, experienced medical interventions or personnel come into the scene. The question is, how quickly is that first aid for that person started, which ideally should be as soon as practicable, and how effective is that first aid, and how appropriate is that first aid that is being administered. Because many a times the problem is that people do not recognize the need to act, or hesitate to act because they are scared to act, or they feel somebody else would act, or they are not sure of the skills, and they do not want to cause more harm because they have not been trained to do so. Those are the things that cause delays. It's those delays that cause harm, and not necessarily how long that first aid has been ongoing for. Typically, if appropriate first aid is given in time, it can really buy a lot of time for persons to receive better assistance from experience and more sophisticated medical personnel at a later time or a later date.